Okay, a few tips on using the Protomax from someone that's really new to the Protomax and is specifically about knife making. I posted a video earlier showing some cutting. I had some issues and posting the video on YouTube actually helped, because doing so, someone ended up giving me some tips based on my video. So that's one tip I'll give you for using the Protomax, is if you get a Protomax and you end up using it, is make YouTube videos, because you'll get feedback that will help you. The other tip I'll give you is, this is something that I had a hard time finding the answers for when I was for shopping, but you can use your Protomax to cut out around different pieces to work around other stuff. So it would be more, you'd have less steel waste if you laid out your entire every knife you wanted to make and cut them all at one time. You'd have less steel waste, but then you would end up having to cut out a bunch of stuff that may or may not sell, and so it's not a very lean concept. So having the ability to go back and cut different size knives out of random pieces where you can find that they'll fit is really beneficial. And this is a pretty long knife here. This is 10 inches long, and the only way I had enough steel in order to do that was to basically get this at a weird angle. So you can get your you can do your weird angles basically by adjusting your angles within Protomax to set your cut part at different angles, or you can turn your piece and kind of figure it out, and then you can do a dry run, and the dry run will basically go around and trace out kind of where your cut's going to be. And you can do that at low speed, and doing it at low speed, you can kind of manipulate and move the part around so that it fits before you clamp it, and then clamp it, and then do a dry run. So that's another tip for the Protomax, is definitely do dry runs. Another tip I'm going to give you is that if you have an area where it's going to be difficult to get in and clean up, I recommend running your quality at a higher level. So you can see this is all set to cut. This purple color, that's quality 3. And I've set this area right here for the finger sharpening tool, I've set it at 5, so it'll be a lot nicer cut. So I'll still need to get in there and clean it up, but it basically won't be as difficult. Another tip I'm going to give is to wear rubber gloves. I kind of picked this up on one of the community college videos on using the Protomax. They recommend using rubber gloves because of bacteria and stuff that can get down the water, and I think that's a genuine concern. But the other thing that's a genuine concern, I think, is just the rust and stuff. I use AEBL, which is a stainless steel, but you're still cutting through, you end up cutting through your slats, which are galvanized steel, and they will rust. And so every time when you turn your water jet on in that first sprays, you're gonna see rust. And so that rust and stuff is probably not good. The other thing is too, is that just getting your hands wet in this water, whether it's harmful as far as bacteria or tetanus or anything like that, it will dry your hands out. And so I recommend just getting the cheapest gloves you can get, so that you can put them on and throw them away, and put them on and throw them away, because you're going to be doing that a lot. And it will just also help you not get your fingers cut so much. So another tip I'm going to give you is to make sure that I don't think it's as crucial on some parts, but this was the mistake I made on my last video, is make sure that you do flood your material, especially if you're going to be doing a piercing, especially for stuff like pinholes on knives, because what happens is, if you don't have this water up above your material, what happens is the spray comes down and hits the material, it bounces back and it goes in and it gets water into your line, and then you have a problem. So flooding your material is definitely a good idea. This is height of the water is set by basically a tube flex hose here, and they have a filter that goes on it. I didn't have good luck with their filter, so I've just put a screen across it, partly because with the big filter that they do, you can't really see exactly where that level's at, where that water is going to be. And by taking that big filter they have and doing the screen, I can see right where the water is going to be. So I think all of those will help. And I will tell you that since I did the last video and then trying to do more cutting and then actually flooding the material, so far it's working really, really well. So hopefully those tips help. If they do, let me know.